Oh my goodness, we are at month 5 already. This is Linda from Colorworks Designs, and welcome back to Missouri Star Quilt Company's Block of the Month program called Starlight. This month's blocks are super fun to stitch up, and they're not a traditional star block per se, but they are easy and fun. And Kate Fawcett's fabrics just look great in these blocks as well. So we'll be making the same block, one larger size and one smaller size. And I'll also be sharing my tips and tricks for flying geese units. So let's head over to the cutting board and get started. So let's take a peek at what's in month 5's kit for fabrics. We've got that beautiful Aboriginal dot in the orchid color, which is fabric A, of course. We've got two 5-inch squares of fabric B, two 10-inch squares of fabric D, two 10-inch squares of fabric E, gorgeous, and then lastly, two 10-inch squares of fabric F. Now the next step is to simply cut all of our fabrics according to the cutting directions in the pattern, and then next is to make half square triangles. And remember, if you need a little tip or trick on making half square triangles, please refer to my tutorials in month 1 or month 3 of the program. Now that we've cut all our fabrics and done all the half square triangles and squared them down, we're ready to start constructing the units that we need for block K and L. Block K is very simple. It's made of 3 different units, which I have here on the cutting board. We have the outer corner unit, the center strip unit, and then the center square unit. We'll be making 4 total of each of the outer corner units and the center strip units, and only 1 of the actual center square units. So let's talk about each one of these units in detail. So we're ready to start constructing part of block K, which is that first unit, which is the outer corner unit. And you can see I've got it laid out here on my cutting board, as well as I've put the diagram right above me here. And it's really simple. You've got all your units here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units, and they simply go together in 3 rows. You would sew this first row of units together, second row, and third row of units together. Once stitched together, it's simply a matter of connecting the 3 rows to complete the quadrant. And there you go. That's my corner unit completed, the first one. I just need to make 3 additional corner units, just like this one. I'm going to copy this one exactly. Make sure before you go on that you check the benchmark measurement. This particular unit should measure 6.5 by 6.5. And then once you create 4 total of these units, we're ready to move on and start constructing the center strip units. So the next unit to create is that center strip unit. And again, we're going to create 4 total of these units for block K. Again, I've got the pieces laid out in front of me on the cutting board here, as well as the diagram above me. And you can see it's very simple. We've got an E strip, we've got 2 ED half square triangles here, and then our B strip. And so the first thing that we're going to need to do is actually sew together these 2 ED half square triangles. You may need to repress or reset one of the seams on one of these half square triangles in the opposite direction so that those seams nest really nicely together. Right, so I have my 2 half square triangles sewn together there in the middle, and now it's just a matter of sewing these 3 strips together. So let's head over to the machine because I want to show you a little trick I have to help you to avoid cutting off the tip of that flying goose unit. So here's a little tip to help you not to cut off this point when you're sewing it. This is my 1/4-inch seam allowance right here after I've sewn these 2 half square triangles together to create that flying goose unit. And I need that 1/4-inch seam allowance above here in order not to cut off my tip. But on the back side of your unit, there's a little road map of stitching that gives you a clue about what to sew through and how far to sew down in your seam allowance in order to not cut off that tip. And if you can see, I've got an arrow right there. And if I bring it closer to the camera, you're going to see that there's a stitching line here going straight across horizontally, and then a stitching line kind of running diagonally. And right at the intersection of these two stitch lines is that point on the other side. So if I place my fabric B rectangle over here, and I'm going to sew it from the other side so I can see that little road map of stitches as I sew. So I'll line up my edges here, and what I'm going to aim to do is to actually sew right through that intersection of stitches right here, where the arrow of the Frixion pen is. So we're going to do our scant 1/4 inch seam again. And as I move towards the unit towards the presser foot, I want to make sure my seams stay down. So I'll put them down with my little nippers there. And I'm going to sew, I want my needle to run straight through that intersection as best I can. Now when I open this up, I should have actually not sewn through my point. I didn't cut off my point, but I should be right at the tip of the point. Can you see that? That's just a little hint to help you get your 1/4 inch seam allowance perfect there when you're doing points. And there you go. I've got my first center strip unit complete. Make sure you check that benchmark measurement. It should be 4.5 by 6.5. And now I just need to sew additional 3 units like this for a total of 4 center strip units. So I just wanted to pop back in and show you a different way of making a flying geese unit. Some people are not fond of the seam that runs down the middle of these units when you put 2 half-square triangles just like we did for the center strip unit. So I have a different way of doing that as well that I want to show you in case you would like to try it for this particular center strip unit. This way that I'm going to show you, this new way, is how we're going to make the flying geese units in month 7 as well. So you start with 2 2.5 inch fabric D squares, and you'll need 1 fabric E strip, which is 2.5 by 4.5. That is the finished size of this unit when you get done. And you're going to draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of each one of these fabric D squares with your Frixion pen or water-soluble pen. The first thing you're going to do is just take 1 square and place it on the right edge of the fabric E strip. You want to make sure that the line that you've drawn is facing in this direction from upper right down towards the bottom center. Now we'll take it over to the machine and sew on that line. So again, this is very much like what we've been doing in previous months where we've been snowballing corners. You want to sew just to the right edge by a hair of this line in order for this tip of the fabric D square to flip over and meet this outer edge. So we're just going to sew a hair to the right of that line. Take it slow. So I've got my first fabric D square on. Just a tip here also, make sure that you don't cut away the excess first. Make sure that you press first, meaning flip the tip of fabric D over so that it meets the bottom corner of the fabric E strip. Once you make sure that it does that, then you can go ahead and cut all that extra fabric away, leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance back there. Next, we're going to take that remaining fabric D square, place it right sides together on the left-hand side, making sure that the diagonal line is running from top left to bottom center. And just a reminder that it will overlap the bottom tip of this fabric D square here. Once that second fabric D square is on, you have a beautiful flying goose unit with absolutely no seam in the middle. So it's your choice for the center strip units on block K. You can do it with no seam, or you can make a flying goose unit out of 2 half-square triangles with a seam. And the last unit we'll make for block K is that center square unit. And we're only going to make 1 of these. And it's really simple. It's basically 4 half-square triangles. I've got the diagram right above me. I've got the blocks here out on the cutting board. You've basically got 2 AE half-square triangles and 2 AF half-square triangles. And it's a simple 4-patch. Once they're sewn together, the block is complete. And there's my center unit complete for block K. And remember, I only need to make 1 of these center units. So once that's complete, and I have made 4 of the corner units and 4 of those center strip units, I'm ready to start constructing block K. I'll take my units, I'll rotate each one of these center strip units and corner units 90 degrees around the center square unit, and sew all of those rows together according to the pattern. Finally, complete your K block by adding that 1-inch strip border all the way around it. So we're ready to start constructing block L, and it goes together just like block K, but on a smaller scale. So you can see we've got a corner unit. We're going to create 4 total of these corner units. They then rotate 90 degrees around the center unit. A center strip unit, 4 total of these, and then we do an hourglass unit, which is actually the center square. So we're going to talk about each one of these units in detail. So the first unit for block L is the outer corner unit, and it's exactly the same unit but on a smaller scale that we just did for block K. And you can see I've got it laid out here on my cutting board with the fabric letters labeled for you, as well as the diagram that's in the pattern right above me. Again, it goes together very simply. Units go together to form 3 rows, and once the 3 rows are sewn together, your unit is complete. So there is my first completed outer corner unit. I just need to make an additional 3 more of these units, and make sure that you follow all those pressing arrows in the diagrams. And so our next unit is the center strip unit, and it goes together just like block K's center strip unit, but on a smaller scale. So I've got the units laid out here on my cutting board. The diagram is right above me. And again, these 2 ED half square triangles create that flying goose unit. So if you want to try the different method that I showed earlier in this tutorial, you can. But these 3 units then go together, and that creates your center strip unit. There's my first finished center strip unit for block L. It's tiny. It's like 3.5 by 5 inches when complete, but this block is so beautiful when it's done. So remember, you need to make a total of 4 of these center strip units. So the last unit for block L is that center square, which is actually an hourglass unit. And these are super easy and super fun to make. You're going to need your 4¼ inch squares of fabric E and fabric F. And this particular section is explained underneath the half square triangle section in the pattern, but I'm going to go through it step by step with you right now. So first you're going to draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of your fabric E square, and we're simply going to make half square triangles from fabric E and F. So I made half square triangle units from fabric E and F squares, and that yielded me these 2 units that you see here. So the next step to making our hourglass unit is to simply draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of one of these half square triangles. And if you can see, here's my seam line, so I drew it in the opposite direction with the Frixion pen. And now we're going to place these 2 half square triangle unit blocks together. And you can feel the seams, that center seam nest or click together in your fingers there. You can pin that if you'd like, but we're going to take this now over to the machine and sew, just like we make half square triangles, 1/4 inch to either side of this drawn diagonal line. When we do that and cut this apart, look, the magic happens. Our hourglass block starts to take shape. So I've sewn 1/4 inch down to either side of that drawn diagonal line, and now I'm just going to cut these units apart. One of these units you can put aside or put it in your scrap bin for another project. We're only going to need one of these units. So this guy I'm just going to simply put off in my scrap bin. This one I'll take over to the iron and give it a good press, and then we'll square it down to 3.5 by 3.5. So I want to give you some tips on how to square down your hourglass unit block as well. So you've got your square ruler, it's got a diagonal line. The block itself has a diagonal line. So you'll want to place the square ruler diagonal line right over the diagonal line of the hourglass unit. You'll also want to, because we're squaring this down to 3.5 by 3.5, make sure that you place whatever the center of that measurement is. So if we're squaring down to 3.5, the half of 3.5, or the center of a 3.5 inch square, is 1 3/4. So I want to make sure that I place the 1 3/4 inch mark dead center in the middle of where all these little triangles come together in the center of my hourglass unit. Once I get that, I'm going to trim away. So I think I am there. I'm going to trim the right hand side and across the top like so. Whoops, let me just do that. There we go. Now I rotate the block and I line up again. So I'm going to make it 3.5 by 3.5. I double check that my diagonal line of my ruler is tracking straight across the diagonal line of the hourglass unit. The 1 3/4 inch mark should be in the center of that unit for the ruler. And then I trim it to 3.5 by 3.5. Take that dog ear away. And there you go. My center unit is now complete for block L. To complete your block, rotate the center units and the outer corner units around the hourglass unit and sew the rows together. Well, that was super fun stitching alongside with you for month number 5. I hope you'll join me next month for month number 6, where we have a contemporary take on the Carpenter's Star Block. Until then, happy coloricious quilting, everyone.